Welcome to the Q1 Buck Pull. I'm Tim Hard with Mike Big Buck Hoffner. Oh, the deep freeze. Somebody asked me, what do the deer do in weather like this?
I'll tell you what, they're going to be looking for food sources, and when the winds are up, they're hunkering down, man. I talked to a friend of mine, and actually I sent you a picture via email. You know, some of the seasons are still going on in Ohio, and he was out during that bitter, cold weather, shot himself an 11-pointer. He never did answer me back, but I said, you had to be in a heated deer blind.
Exactly right. Because why would you be out there if you're not in a heated deer blind?
Exactly. But, you know, the day we had all the blizzard is one of those things that, you know, was probably one of the most exciting hunts I ever had in my lifetime. Is we had a season several years ago where it really snowed hard like that, and I was able to just walk and stalk all day long. I shot myself a real dandy buck today, and I saw several deer because they were out moving around. As long as the wind wasn't up, they were out moving around looking for food sources, and man, I could sneak right up on them and get that great shot.
Well, today on the show, we're going to be talking to the DNR. We're going to be at Firekeepers Casino and Hotel doing some cooking. We've got Tony LaPratt talking with us, and we may even show a property or two here.
Well, I'm ready to rock and roll, Tim.
All right. And remember, if you want to see the deer that are registered in the contest, go to q1buckpole.com. Stay with us. We got more coming up. Firekeepers Casino and Hotel present the Q1 Buck Pole. I'm now talking to Carson Laney. He's from Jonesville. He's an 11-year-old, first-time hunter, first buck, and you had to be excited about it. So, Carson, he's got a big, proud smile on him right now. And tell me about your hunt. How'd it work?
Well, story is, my dad saw a doe in the woods. It was running, so I got my gun ready. He told me it might circle around and come back out. So I get my gun ready, get the hammer pulled back, and then my dad sees in the corner of his eye a buck comes out. So the buck comes out, and then my dad said he's going to whistle twice. And then he whistled once when it was out, right straight across from us, about 65 yards away. And then he whistled once, and then it didn't stop, so he whistled a little bit louder, and then it stopped, and then I pulled the trigger back, and bang!
Dropped it right there. Did it go very far, or was it drop right there?
No, it went about 100 yards. Yeah, and then it rolled over.
No, very good. We didn't have to track it too long then. Now, were you on the ground in a tree stand? What kind of a stand were you in, or blind were you in?
I was in an elevated blind.
Mm-hmm. And your dad was hunting with you?
Yep.
Okay. And your dad said, I talked to him, he said he had his gun too, and he put his gun down and said it's yours. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. What do you like most about being out in the woods with your dad?
Well, I like sitting with him, and it keeps me company.
Mm-hmm.
And then also someone I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's always good to be with your dad when you're hunting.
There you go. And do you like the outdoors? What do you like most about the outdoors?
I like the nature, seeing, especially in the fall when all the leaves are out, all the color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And here's a guy that also plays a lot of different sports, right?
Yep.
All the different kinds, and yet finds time to get to the outdoors, and I think that's very important. And your dad and I talked too. Get the kids out early, and then you've got the fever now. You ready to go back out?
Yes.
Now you just have to have your dad get a muzzleloader all set for you. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. Carson Laney with us from Jonesville, a successful hunter. All right, so most of you have gotten your letters in the mail from us, but you can also go to the website, and it lists all the different parties. It lists the locations, the times. And, you know, Mike, it all kicks off January 23rd in Coldwater at the Eagles Hall. We're looking forward to seeing people there. Then we're off to Almont, Michigan, the Country Smokehouse, and that's January 25th. We were there. There were so many deer. We had fun doing interviews, and we hope to have a lot of people there to bring your racks. And that's one of the things, you know, that we like the best. Bring your rack, tell your story.
Yeah, well, we got a buckboard. And I'll tell you, last year we didn't have any problem filling it. We had to find spaces for people. So bring those racks in. We want to see some of the impressive antlers that you've shot this year.
January 30th, we'll be at the Mosey Inn up in Morley. So make sure you check that out if you're a little bit north of Grand Rapids. And then January 29th, I'm remembering them all, we're at the Timbers, and that's in Vassar.
You really have these
And then
things down.
February 7th, we're going to be at Firekeepers Casino and Hotel, and there are special room rates right now. So make sure that you get your room rate. They got a $199 special for Friday night only, and our goal is to start at 6:30. But we're going to make sure we get everybody in the door.
I've talked to a number of people that are excited about going there. It's a new facility. You got to come check it out.
And that's where we're going to give away that Yamaha Grizzly 350 ATV. But you've got to be there in order to win.
And those guys got to be happy at Custom Connections up there, because it's just down the road from. They don't have to drive quite as far.
No big venture there. More after this. You're watching the Q1 Buck. All right, we've got a simple recipe right now.
Shepherd's pie?
Shepherd's pie.
Sounds good to me.
You ever had it before?
No, I have not.
Delicious. All right, off to Firekeepers Casino for shepherd's pie. We're at Firekeepers Casino and Hotel in the kitchen. We've got Drew Miller with us, our chef today, and we are going to make venison shepherd's pie.
Yes, sir.
All right, explain it to me real quick.
Okay, we're going to start with a little bit of ground venison and some diced potatoes, peas, celery, coin-cut carrots, diced onion. We get a little bit of fresh thyme, some minced garlic, and some parsley for a garnish, and a little bit of salt and pepper for seasoning. We're also going to put a little Guinness beer in there too.
Ooh, you
for
gotta
flavor.
like that.
Yeah.
You gotta like a flavor of Guinness beer.
Yeah,
How about that?
Absolutely, very bold flavor, very rich.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the venison. I take it, cooking
Yes.
that first.
We're going to start with the venison. This venison up, put it right in that pan. Give her a stir and just get her browned up real nice.
All right. Okay, Drew, so the venison looks like it's all brown in there, so that's ready to go.
Yep, nice and brown, so we're going to transfer it over here and drain it, just to drain the excess fat off of it.
And really, venison has
not
very
crazy.
little fat. I mean, there's a little bit coming out,
Yeah.
but not much at all.
Yeah, venison's very, very lean.
Look at that. So again, as you take a look, very little. All right.
We're going to go back over to our pan and we're going to deglaze with our Guinness beer.
Oh, deglazing with Guinness beer.
Yeah.
That's not normally what you would talk about with Guinness beer. You know that.
No.
Normally it's Guinness beer, we're going to have a glaze.
So we're just going to scrape the bottom, all this stuff that's left in the bottom of this pan, get that up and get that mixed in there. That's just nothing but flavor. We're going to let this warm up and cook down a little bit, just get a little thick. Then we're going to go ahead and add our onion, our celery, our carrots, and our garlic.
Gotta have garlic.
Yes, sir. We're going to mix that in real good with the beer, and we're going to kind of let that beer cook down. Our vegetables soften up a little bit here.
About how long will we cook this, Drew?
Should take about 10 minutes.
All right, Drew, it looks like it has cooked down quite a bit. Are we just about ready?
Yeah, we're ready to go here. We've reduced that beer quite a bit. Our vegetables are nice and soft. So now we're going to go ahead and add our potatoes and our peas. And we're going to put our venison back in there. A couple of sprigs of thyme.
Now, what will the thyme do for it?
That's just going to add more flavor. That's all background flavor and aromatics. Add a little salt and pepper there to build flavor, and about 1.5 quarts of beef stock. We're going to mix that all up real good. And this is going to have to cook for just about an hour before it's ready to go. What you're going to be looking for is these potatoes are going to start to break down, and everything's going to be nice and soft and almost fused together. You can see we've lost quite a bit of volume here. It's thickened up quite a bit and reduced down quite a bit. See how the vegetables have just blended right in there. You're getting that.
So again, the thickness comes from all those vegetables breaking down. Is that right?
Yeah, it comes from the starch in the potatoes, and as the beef stock reduces, that thickens as well.
So it looks like we're ready to go.
We're ready to go here. And so now we're going to start plating. I'm going to take this off there so we don't make a mess.
Okay.
And we're just going to scoop this, slide over here. We're going to scoop this right into these little dishes. This will be a nice serving for a single person. You can do a few of these. Feed more than one. This stuff warms up again really well. It holds really well in the refrigerator. Warm it up later. We're going to take some mashed potatoes. We're just going to pipe these on top. Almost something like that.
Oh, you got to like a little artistic flavor to this.
When we're done piping those on, we're going to stick this back in the oven for, I'd say, about 10 minutes until these potatoes start to get a nice brown color to them.
All right. Okay, so now we've got it out of the oven. What's next?
We're ready to go here. We got a little Irish soda bread that we made beforehand to serve with this. This is just kind of to add a little bit different of a flavor contrast to it, and to soak up the juices that are going to be in the bottom of this little dish.
Now, what is Irish soda bread, real quick?
Well, it's an Irish recipe. It's kind of like a biscuit in consistency, but it's a little sweet and a little savory at the same time. It's got raisins in it that'll match well with that venison.
All right, so what I need to do is just dig in?
Just dig in.
All right. That's really good. Of course, everything we make here is really good, but this is awesome. I like the potatoes on top. Vegetables inside are really soft and tender. Venison's awesome. As you can tell, I like it. And then the soda bread, I know we're all going to try this here in a minute, but I'm just going to take a bite. Very good. Very good. Awesome deal, Chef.
All right.
Chef Drew Miller with us. I got a mouthful. We're at Firekeepers Casino and Hotel. And again, give me the recap real quick.
Basically, we take our vegetables, saute them off in a little bit of Guinness beer, reduce that down, a little beef stock, venison, little potatoes on top, pop it in the oven to get that nice brown color, and voila.
Voila, it is a delicious recipe. Again, Drew Miller, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Drew Miller, our chef today from Firekeepers Casino and Hotel. And again, we'll have these recipes on our Facebook. We'll also have them online for you to check out and make up some delicious venison this spring or winter or whenever you're going to make it up. All right, I'm Tim Hart. You're watching the Q1 Buck Bowl. Shepherd's pie. Did that not look delicious? Let me tell you right now, it was delicious.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've not tried, and I want to try that. So
Well, you know, they
I'm
take
begging
those-
you for a piece. Bring some back for me.
They take those potatoes and they go. I told Jim, who was with me, I said, I could have just ate those potatoes. They were so good, and they make their own special potato mix and all. It's just excellent.
I'll tell you what, the chefs can work miracles with food, and I'll tell you what, a lot of people don't like venison, but if you get a hold of these recipes, I guarantee you're going to take it down.
Now we got some big bucks with Big Buck Hoffner.
Donald Blanchard in southeast Michigan brings in a 9-pointer, the score 45 3/4. And finally, Robert Kearns from southwest mid-Michigan with a 9-pointer, the score 38.5.
Well, it's time now to interview Scott Vogt. And let me tell you right now, this is probably the biggest rack that I've seen all year long. Scott, a big 15-pointer, 21 inside spread. Let's talk about the buck and tell me about the hunt.
Buck that I got trail cam pictures of beginning in November. The area that I hunt is more wooded, so I don't get a lot of trail cam pics until the scrapes start showing up.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a camera over a scrape and got a picture of him on the 2nd of November. And I had seen him last year too. He wasn't obviously nearly this big, but hunted him, took the week off before gun season, and hunted all day long for several days. And finally on the 13th, I seen him 3 days before I shot him chasing a doe. And then on the 13th, he was by himself. Only deer I saw the whole day.
Really? What were the conditions out there?
That day it was cold. Sitting all day was was rough. But when you knew he was out there, it made it a little easier to do. But
Right.
all day, not even a doe until about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. He walked by about 25 yards and broadside.
And so he was just kind of casually coming along, not aware
Yep.
of anything out there?
Nothing. Nope. And I was actually texting my wife, and not really. It's getting that time of the night where you're starting to look for things. I sent that text, and I go, oh, there's finally a deer. And I look and I go, oh, that's him. And it happened that quick. I didn't even have a chance to get excited or nervous. And he was right there, and give him a little grunt, stopped him, and hit him right through both lungs.
Scott, about how far did he go?
He went about 80 yards, just over a little ridge, and gave him a few minutes. And I knew he was hit real good because he tucked his tail. Went over the ridge, and there he laid on his side. So walked up on him, and there's a little wow factor, no ground shrinkage.
a little wow factor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what did you do right after that? Did you text? Did you call? Did you
I was
let people know what's
texting
happening?
some buddies, and a buddy of mine that I elk hunt with out in Colorado, I said, he's 300 pounds and he's 180 inches. And he said, no, send me pics. So I sent him a pic, and I looked at the picture, and I'm like, it doesn't do it any justice.
No, it does not.
And he goes, oh, that's really nice. And I know he's on the other end reading that going, that's not 300 pounds.
Well, let's talk about the weight and all that.
He field dressed 252 pounds, and I had to get video of that because nobody would believe me. So I'm guessing he was about 300 live weight. So he's a pretty heavy deer.
Now, let's talk about the rack, and you had it scored.
I did.
Okay. Tell me about the scoring, and then we've got a little beauty mark we want to talk about back here.
Yep, I had it green scored by a guy in Parma, Michigan. That's a CBM score, and he scored it at 187 and an 8th, I believe.
So that would be the new state record for bow, but
yeah,
you
that's
have to
gross,
wait.
so-
Yes, exactly. That's gross.
Net is going to fall below it, but it grosses more than the one that was shot last year.
Mhm.
So it's the mass where he's got long tines, but he has almost 40 inches of mass, which is where he gets all of his.
And one of the areas, as we take a look, and we turn it a little bit, it's almost like you were telling me the guy that scored it thought maybe that a stick got into
Yeah.
the antler here.
And that wasn't in there last year, that little hole that's in there.
Mhm.
It wasn't on the sheds because some of the neighbors had the sheds, and we were looking at it, and it kind of messed up this growth, I think, when it was in velvet. But this main beam's 27.5 inches long, which is, that's
Massive.
pretty long. You can't appreciate it because it comes up and then around, so it has a lot of length there. But yeah.
So obviously you've been around, you've been showing the rack to a lot of people. Are you going to have a mount made of this, or what are you doing?
Yep, I'm gonna have a mount made. A guy that does a lot of my work in Concord, Michigan. Nature's Pride Taxidermy. Actually, I got his shirt on. He does a lot of work for me, so he does a good job. I'm gonna have him do it for me and do a pedestal mount.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, that is an awesome, just an awesome rack. As you take a look at this and you look at some of the different features and the uniqueness of it, obviously people are going to be able to see this coming up at some of our buck pull prize parties. It's just fabulous. I mean, it is so impressive. And what a great thing that you were able to shoot that deer. And you kind of on the celebrity tour, have you been with all your friends and family and everybody wanting to see it?
Everybody seems to have seen a picture of it, so it's pretty cool.
And again, great bucks, a good hunting season for the bigger size racks, and we've heard that all over the state.
Yeah, I like I said, I mean, it's been a tough season, but people have brought in deer, and I'm impressed with the caliber of the deer that they've brought in.
Speaking of calibers, hey, we got a 50 caliber muzzleloader from CVA, one of the prizes we're giving away at all of our parties. And people have asked, hey, are we having separate parties for a lot of the regions? Well, for a number of the regions, we're having them right at Firekeepers. So bring your racks, we'll have buckboards, and we can hear your stories there and have some fun.
Yeah, and you got prizes like that CVA muzzleloader. I used mine, and I shot a dandy this year, brought it right down.
And he also had his kids go out and use my dart and crossbow.
Yeah.
And we're giving away some dart and crossbows good sponsor of ours. So.
Exactly, and actually, they're right on. If you're not a crossbow shooter, get them out. Man, I'll tell you, it doesn't take long. They're sighted in, they're dialed in. You can shoot those things easy. When I had it sighted in 40 yards and in, I'm one of those guys that doesn't like to take the long shot, but 40 yards and in, man, accurate as can be.
You believe that?
I do.
I believe that. All right. We've got a property now from Trophy Class Real Estate, Dan Hoffman. He's a real estate agent, and they've got some great hunting ground out there. Here's our featured property today. Check out this home on 150 acres in Osceola County with 2,000 feet of waterfront, hunting, fishing, and trapping. The home and property has it all. Super unique, one-of-a-kind property, barn-style home, very roomy. There's 2 beaver ponds. There's ATV trails. Great property, and Dan Hoffman is a friend of mine, and I will tell you, if you're looking for property, he will take care of you. And speaking of property, a lot of people, you and I have talked about it before, the pheasant population, trying to bring them back. Pheasants Forever, all throughout the state of Michigan, different chapters. They got events coming up.
Yeah, they do a great job of developing the habitat and finding people that you can send your pheasants to, because that's what we do at the Career Center. That's one of the projects that our FFA program does, is they raise pheasants annually, and actually they've linked up many times with the Pheasants Forever chapters to find places to release them.
All right, well, thanks for being with us this week. Remember, Party Time is coming up. Go online, check it out, January 23rd in Coldwater at the Eagles, January 25th in Almont at the Country Smokehouse, January 29th at the Timbers in Vassar, a new location for us. Then January 30th at the Mosey Inn, that's in Morley, a new location for us. And February 7th at Firekeepers Casino and Hotel. Get your room booked now.
The grand finale, can't wait.
All right, for Mike Big Buck Hoffner, I'm Tim Hart Haberl, and thanks for being with us this week on the Q1 Buck Bowl. You know, when you give us directives back there, Mr. Director.
He's not smiling, oh, Mr. It's the new year for the crying out loud, Jimbo. Smile.